content management system, written content is stored in two primary formats, posts and pages. Pages are for static, persistent information like the About page. Posts are for time or category-driven content. Pages do not have categories. Posts come in different flavors as designed in the WordPress theme chosen for the site. Regular posts appear in all WordPress sites. We use portfolios to present the industries on the home page. Testimonials and highlights are not yet employed. We will see how they might be later. Sliders are used to present graphic images and are a fifth type of specialized post. The calendar is a third written content type along with pages and posts. Its functions are determined by the My Calendar plugin we'll look at later. A word about WordPress and themes. When you install the content management system called WordPress, it uses a database to store everything except graphics. Plugins provide special functionality, including third-party widgets and content types like the calendar. Themes provide additional plugin-like tools and the look and feel of the site. Graphics are stored in the file system of the server, but how they map for accessing them is in the database. And it all combines to serve the website. Themes provide most of the look of a website. This is a generic theme as it is installed with WordPress automatically. This is how that theme interprets the new website. By simply activating the theme we chose, the plugins, content, and theme settings combine for the presentation. As with all WordPress sites, each page is built from system-wide elements like the menus or logo, and the pages and posts nested within them. On the Micromain site homepage, we use two instances of the slider object. This top version uses the slider content type, and the second one for customer icons uses the images directly from the media library. Another of these theme-based tools allows the content type called portfolio to be displayed. We are using that method to organize Micromain's industry segments. This is a second-level presentation reached by navigating from the home page. This content came from a page, and these are widgets or interface tools provided via plugins of the theme. The WordPress menu system provides the menus included in the main navigation scheme for the main menu and footer menus, but also for the one contained in a widget. Next, a tour of the administration system you'll be using to maintain the website. First, the content types discussed earlier, then the look and feel and the structure provided by the theme, and then the infrastructure. When you log in to the back end of the website, you're presented with the dashboard. Some of these items will disappear in the production site, as with this SEO warning. You'll have statistics in this block. And over here is where you see the administration menu we just talked about. As mentioned earlier, the home page is made from one particular page that the interface for the theme points at. To see which page that is, go to Appearance, Customize, Static Front Page. This shows that you can either have your latest posts on the home page or a static page. In this case, we've chosen a page called the home page to link to for the presentation when someone first visits the site. To edit the home page, go to Pages, and here you see the list of all the pages that are referenced on the site. You'll notice a close similarity to the main navigation menu, as these were the pages we launched with the main navigation. You'll also notice that the home page is the third page listed here. Oftentimes you'll want to reorder those. Simply click and drag so that it's the first page you get to. When you create new pages, they'll show up at the top here, and you may want to put the home page in first place. Now, to edit that page, click on Home Page, and you get into the general editing interface for both posts and pages. In this case, you'll see the publishing area, the page attributes, and the rest of the SEO information down here. But the main editing area is blank. That's because in this theme, we don't use the main editing area for the home page. We use the Themify builder to construct the page. Now, you remember the top slider that showed the photographs and the titling. That's all done with this object here. Then we install the divider line between them, then the portfolio, and then the second slider that has the icons for customers. To edit these, you can either click here and go to edit, or double click. And here's the way you set this particular object. In this case, you can see we're going to the slider post content method, and then we've set it up so that it's a slider layout with the captions below. Here's the width and the height and the timing. Then you just click Save. To create one of these, all you have to do is come down to this area here, choose which object you want to work with. Say you want to put a map in the system. You drag it down, you place it in an object, and it launches its editing interface, and you configure what it is you're looking for. In this case, if you have a map that you want to do, you simply type an address in here, and the system will figure out where that address is in the planet and give you a map. Now, in that case, I closed the object instead of saving it. If I want to place a video on the page, I drag an object down, it launches, and I enter the path for my video. Now, that path can be local to the server, or it can be a YouTube video. I'm just going to put here path as a placeholder and click Save. That way the object is retained here. Now, if I want that video to be half the page, all I have to do is drag the columns together, and now it's half the page. Now, that's half the page with the side column left out of that calculation. It's half of the displayable page. The side column then adds more to the right. If you wanted a page where you controlled your own side column, you could drag it again. Now this fills the entire page area, and this is a second side column. If you were to make this page full page width, then this area here would be the new side column, and it would only be on that particular page. That's a way to have unique side columns on a page where you don't want to create a system-wide object. To remove an object, you simply go here and click Delete. And this area here will not display. When you do make changes to this, be sure you click the Save button here, as well as the Update button for the article or page itself. Let's go back down and look at one of the other objects here. Let's look at Portfolio. Now you can see the grid we're using here. It's choosing from the category for all the different categories within the portfolio that we've established. And that's how the front page display appears with the items showing the different industries. If you want content in this editing area, you can add it, and you can add images and do the other things that are allowed here in the editing toolbar. They just will appear above whatever objects you instantiate down here with this system. Many of the objects that are available down below in the Themify builder here are also available in the main editing interface. For instance, if you wanted to add a video to your article, you'd simply go here, choose Video, enter the YouTube URL or the other URL to a local video, give it the width and the height. Say we entered youtube.com video. We want it to be 400 by 200. And we scroll down to Insert and drop the code in. And that's the code that will then appear in the interface. It'll load the video right from there. You can also add images right from the library here. You go to Add Media, choose your image, and drop it on the page. And it can be edited for everything from center, right, left alignment to the size. You can even manipulate the size now right in the article. Two other elements The page options area determines what kind of layout you're going to have for that particular page. As we just were talking about, where you wanted your own sidebar, as we do with the home page, you click full width, and then whatever you put in the right side or left side of the theme builder setup will create your new sidebar and not be interfered with by the other side. You can also hide the home page. We don't want it to say, or hide the home page title. We don't want it to say home page on the home page. And then you can set the width. We're choosing to use default in this case. This tool set also provides a way, when you're using posts on a page, to present posts by choosing which category you're going to use. Now, these are all fake categories within the posting system, but this pulls from the regular posting system, so you can actually add posts in a pattern on a page if you chose, and the other settings are available. To edit the portfolio that we were using on the home page, you go to the portfolio type. It works just like a page. You click on portfolios, and here they all are listed with their categories. Now, these two we're not using, so they don't have a category. They don't get included on the home page. But you can just go into industrial and manufacturing. And again, we haven't got any content listed here for when someone clicks through to it. But we have used a featured image, and that's what shows up in the slider on the home page, is this featured image. To get that featured image, you just click Browse Library, and it takes you to the master library called Media Library on the interface, and find your image and install it. If you need to add a picture, you simply go to a directory of your information, grab a document, and drag it over, and it automatically loads into this interface and will be available in the media library from that point on. And there's our image. Now, if you click on it, you click on the image, it shows you the caption that will be presented when there is a caption to be had, the alternate text which shows when you float your mouse over a picture, or this description is just for internal notes. This also shows you the size of the image and when you uploaded it. You can edit it here to shrink it in the media library if you want. I wouldn't advise that. Or delete it permanently. If I were to click Insert Image, it will replace the featured image on that prior article, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to close this. But that's where this image came from, which shows on the home page here, along with the title of that particular portfolio item. Each of these content types, pages, highlights, portfolios, sliders, and testimonials, behave about the same. You can click on the list of them, you can add a new one, or in the case of the specialized post types and the posts, you can add a category. The theme is what uses testimonials, portfolios, and highlights. Almost all WordPress sites use the posts. This would be for news releases or areas where you wanted to split up timely content to stream it ordered by date. The calendar is a way to add events and other date-specific content to the site that isn't delivered as a post. This is not accessible except through the calendar interface, the calendar widgets on the site. Right now, let's go into the way appearance is managed. When we chose a theme, we loaded it in, and this is the theme we're using here. We also tried these others, and these come stock with WordPress, but we selected this particular one. This is what governs the display of the website. You can customize it here for the site tagline used on the home page, and this is where you choose the navigation you'll use. Here's where we picked which menu we wanted for the main menu, and which menu we wanted for the footer menu. And notice the third choice is Our Industries. We chose that to use in a widget that creates the collapsible menu. We'll get to that in a second. However, the theme itself has an extensive setting system. By going into that, here's where we established important elements. Here's, for instance, where we pulled in the one font style that we needed that was not loaded by the default font system. We'll talk about that in a second. Here is a few standards that can be used across the website for default layout. Notice we've chosen the sidebar on the right and full width postings for pages, and that when a post does show, it shows its full content. That can all be modified in the objects you saw on the page setup. These theme settings indicate some other system-wide stuff. We're not currently using the search form or the RSS link, and these welcome messages appear above the main page content on the system. Here's where we establish the social links that show on the home page and their icons. Hook content is an advanced concept that allows you to place objects around the web interface, and here's the map that shows you where those are. You can include code in these areas to override the template to place content there. Until you're more advanced in the way the system works, I would leave that alone. The more powerful and important area here is under styling. Here's where we chose the fonts and font sizes for different parts of the website, established where the logo was to be loaded and how it was to be loaded, and other elements that show how we're displaying on the system. Here's where we set the header. Now, what you'll notice is a lot of these fields are blank. If they're blank, that means we accepted the default that the theme came with. You only want to make changes here when the way the default theme presents is not the way you want to have it presented. For instance, the body font that we chose is Roboto, so we came in and set all the fonts to be Roboto. One of the elements that we ran into in developing this site was that some of this theme didn't do some of the things that you wanted your site to look like. Well, you can override the custom styling here. In this case, there was no setting for the footer navigation to be the font we had chosen, so that's what this is. We took some spacing out around the slider. That's this. You wanted a bolder main menu. This is where we used the font we loaded in the settings area. And then here's the positioning and dimensions of the social widget to accommodate more than just the social icons. You want to keep this area limited to code if you can, but it's a handy place to make changes if you need to do something that's unusual or not supported generally by the theme. Let's go into more detail now on the menu system. You saw under Appearance and Customize where we set which menus we wanted to be on the home page. And you saw in the picture of the secondary page where we use it as a widget. By going into Appearance Menus, this is the menu editing interface here. Now, to change something, you simply bring it down and you can change the settings here for it. In this case, there's a page called CMMS Software. You see that here. And all we had to do was put that over into the system here, and it became a menu choice. This is how you change the hierarchy of the menu system. You can drag and drop and move things back and forth to be at different levels of the menu. To add something, for instance, if I wanted to add newsletter as a page, I just click that, click Add to Menu, and it shows up down here at the bottom. If I want to reposition it, I just move it up, and as you can see, I've already done that, and drop it into place and save, and now that page is linked in the menu. You can do as many levels as you want here. There will be flyouts from each lower level menu. In this case, I'm going to get rid of the newsletter, so I'm going to remove that and save again. Here's also a place where you can see where the item is set to show on the site, but this is where you choose which menu to edit. So you choose that, hit select, and it loads a new menu, in this case the footer, and these are the items that are in the footer menu. The widget menu, or the menu we're using in a widget, is built exactly the same way. You just decide what you want to have in there. In this case, I wanted a top level link that was not linked to anything. So the way you do that is you go to Links, and in here you put a nonsense URL, put the name of your link right there, and then click Add to Menu. Then go back in and delete that, as I've done here, and save the menu, and this item won't be clickable, but it will have children that are clickable. Several times I've mentioned the widget system. That's also part of the appearance system. Go into Appearance, Widgets, and there are custom widgets that are loaded by different plugins in the system, and others like Just Text that come with WordPress. In this particular theme, here are the locations that we have for placing information in widgets. 1, 2A, and 2B are simply layers on the right sidebar, as well as sidebar 3. So the social widget is up in the header, and the footer widget is, of course, down below. These are determined by the patterns you saw that were chosen in the theme settings over here in the element theme configuration for what we wanted to have on the sidebar and on the footer. In this case, text is the phone number. You can put HTML in here. You can format things however you want. You can just have paragraph text. That's how we added the phone number. Search is a standard widget that you can just drag in here. The way I put that in was to come down here to search, grab the item, drag it up, and drop it into place. And now that appears on the site where you can add a title. And to get rid of it, you just say delete. Here is an image widget that has the click for support on the right sidebar. In this case, I've added this through a plugin, and you just select the image you want, add it here, and it contains the other information you want, where it links to, how it operates when you click on it, and so forth. The Accordion menu simply asks which of the menu systems we wanted to use, and then offers you some configuration for how you want that accordion to operate. If you go to the social widget, you can see how that's done. Here's the plugin that supervises the Pardot forms. This WordPress in general knows how to log into Pardot and knows how to retrieve the list of Pardot forms. It's simply a matter of having a valid form on the system that you can use and choosing it to be here. You can add titles, determine its height and width. You can even add separate styling here if you want, and then save, and now you've pulled a Pardot form onto the website. This has been a general tutorial of how the theme configuration and the WordPress environment are set up to manage the micromain.com website. I won't go into, at this stage, plugins, users, tools, settings, the backup system to Dropbox, the SEO configuration that your SEO person is using, and the lorem ipsum generator that we use to put the dummy content on the site. Since you're using Pardot forms, we won't be using this visual form builder. It's one of my favorites because it loads the form responses into a database on the website, so they're not only just going into email, you actually have a record of them. But since you're using Pardot to gather most of that information, we're not going to use these.
Thank you for your attention. If you have questions, please send email to mark@pagemountain.com.